All right, we're back for our third and final segment of Science at Kirk presents In the Nest. Of course, we'll be back on next week. We'll analyze the NFL. We're going to talk a lot about Maryland basketball next week as the season is about to begin. And hopefully, we have some better news to talk about Maryland football after the back-to-back disastrous losses to Ohio State and this week to Minnesota. It was not pretty out there for the Terps. They got Indiana coming in this week, and they have to win. They got to get to 6. They're now at 4-3, and they got games with Penn State, Michigan State, and Michigan. Although Penn State lost that 9 overtime game to Illinois. Hey, before we get into that, some tennis news for all my tennis fans. My good buddy Steve Lightning Krulowitz, a recent Maryland State Hall of Fame inductee and 32-time Grand Slam participant, will be conducting tennis clinics and lessons this fall outdoors with strict COVID protocols. You know, it's still warm in the afternoon. You got another 4, 5, 6 weeks left. With some, warm weather, take advantage of playing with Steve. Get your grandkids with him or your kids. He's got a great introductory program, especially for the youngsters. Call Steve at 410 560 0066 for more info. That's 410 560 0066. My good buddy, great tennis player, Steve Krulowitz. So, there's some stuff this week about the salaries of Turge and Locks. Locks is the lowest paid head coach in the Big Ten. I was surprised. He does make $2.8 million a year, and he's not complaining about it. I just find it surprising that he's the lowest. Right now, he's not at the top of his game, and he'll be the first to admit that the Maryland has to turn things around quickly this week after last week's loss to Minnesota. Turge, again, he's in the top 4 or 5 of the coaching prices, which is where he belongs because he's done that well in the conference. His conference record is great. I know a lot of people, myself included, Mark Turgeon included, realize we got to go deeper in the big dance. That will happen. And hopefully it happens this year. Listen, this is how close we are to opening day. Tuesday, November the 9th, Quinnipiac. Thursday, November 11th, GW. Saturday, November 13th, Vermont. Wednesday, November 17th, George Mason. Hey, these games are coming on strong. All right, like right away. And we'll be starting in what the heck? Very, very shortly. And I have to tell you that I love this team. You're going to see it early on, but then your first real test, not to say they're going to win all these early games, you're going to play Louisville somewhere around Sunday or Monday, November 27th. And that will be great. And then you come home to Virginia Tech. And then Sunday, December the 5th, you got Northwestern, the first conference game, which to me is where it all happens. 20 conference games. So it's coming. And the team, I love the team. I've been talking about that. I want to talk about Ed Ogeron. He's gone at LSU. He's going to finish out this year. But here's the funny thing. They talk about his replacements. And to me, this is almost hysterical. James Franklin. Now, he had a bad loss the other day, but he's not looking to leave Penn State. And I don't think Penn State is looking for him to leave. But James Franklin, it doesn't seem like when, where, or how. His name always comes up. Lane Kiffin, the coach of Mississippi, almost unbelievable that his name would come up. Don't understand it. Really, really don't. Luke Fickell, I do understand from Cincinnati. Look, Cincinnati's doing great. They're highly ranked. Speaking of rankings, Alabama moves back to number 3. It's like they never left. For who? Did they lose to Texas A&M? No, of course not. They got beat by them, and it's not around. All right. In other words, Alabama always gets the pass. I wonder if they get the pass if they lose again. I don't know. They can lose again and still win the SEC. Can you keep the winner of the SEC out of the Final Four, even if it has 2 losses? Well, it depends on who else has 1 loss. But Alabama just seems to keep getting the pass. Hey, Kentucky basketball. Ty Washington, one of the, I think the number one or number two recruit in the land. What else is new? Has signed a names, image, and likeness deal with Porsche, the local Porsche dealer. Are they going to give him a car to use? I don't know, but hats off to him for that, getting that kind of deal. And that was what the whole purpose of all this was, for the players who really bring in the revenue to get something back for it. Golden State looks like the old Golden State. I have to tell you that right now. Steph Curry was unbelievable in game number 2, 44 points. He got 25 in the first half. He hit shots where he didn't have possession of the ball for more than a split second. Steph Curry's the real deal. Always has been, always will be. And when they get his running mate, Klay Thompson, back, and of course Draymond's there, and Andrew Wiggins is playing great. Believe it or not, JaVale McGee is he's on Phoenix. They are playing super, all right, and they will be a force in the West. The Lakers look horrible, to tell you the truth. They play Sunday night late. Not sure against who, but I don't know if it's on TV or whatever, but I'm certainly gonna follow it. And they do not look good. They are losing very badly. And first couple games, it was ugly the way they lost. And I guess LeBron will turn around, but you got LeBron and you got Carmelo and you got DeBrow and you got Dwight Howard and you have Russell Westbrook. There ain't enough balls on that team. All right. You gotta have 3 balls in session at all times for everybody to get their shots. Hey, the story that's really bothered all of NBA basketball is the saga of Ben Simmons. And, all of a sudden now, when it looks like, he's not going to play, comes up with he's having mental issues. Maybe he is, but it seems awful convenient. If he is, give him time to solve through it. But never heard that word before. He didn't have him when he went to Wimbledon. And I don't know what's going to happen with Ben Simmons. But you know what? If he's that unhappy and they dislike him that much, trade him. Make a deal, get the best you can, and move on. Because it's creating with Joel Embiid and with the entire team a whole issue that he's not playing. And now the other day, Brooklyn, who now has lost 2 out of 3, all right, because they don't have Kyrie Irving, that's what they say. And fans came and protested. This is all over vaccines. Kyrie refuses to get it. And in New York, I don't understand the laws there, but apparently you have to be vaccinated in order to play. And Kyrie is not. And guess what? He's not playing. On the other hand, the Wizards are playing some ball. Spencer Dinwiddie. I have to tell you, I know that Octavius Caldwell Pope's a good player. I know that Kyle Kuzma's a great player. All right, a great player. These were involved with the Westbrook deal, and Kuzma has been playing out of his mind, and more power to him. But Spencer Dinwiddie, I mean, Bradley Beal didn't play the other day. Spencer Dinwiddie, I think, scored 29 points. They beat Indiana in overtime. They're 2-0, and Monday night tonight they play the Brooklyn Nets, who are 1-2. So that should be extremely interesting. And I'm happy to see the Wizards are playing that well. All right. I want to see that. It's not like I don't want to see it. I want to see it. I tell you who didn't play well today. That's my Tottenham Hotspurs. They lost to they lost to West Ham. And this guy, his name is Antonio. He beats Tottenham all the time. I know you might not follow the Premier League, but if you do, you know what I'm talking about. And Liverpool really put it to, I think it was 6-1 over Man U. And when Man U loses like that, the coach's future is not strong. All right. 6-1. Better turn it around quick. Liverpool, and Jurgen Klopp, another non-vaxxer, from what I understand. But Jurgen Klopp, the coach, one of the most popular coaches in the world, and I say the world, he apparently, all right, has got this Liverpool team playing great, but they got this Salah who's unbelievable. And if you don't follow the Premier League, you have to forgive me. But Harry Kane is not. Harry Kane's my favorite player. He is not playing phenomenal. He's not even playing good. All right. He is just, he gave up, he literally was responsible for the goal today that was given up. And Harry's not having his best of times, only has one goal, I think, in nine. So far, there's been nine Premier League games. I think he missed the first couple, but that's not Harry Kane. He's a Golden Boot winner all the time, or certainly in the running for it. Hey, the Lady Terps, number 4 preseason. You gotta love it. All right. Year after year after year, Brenda's there. Okay, she's only got one natty, okay, but she's been in, I think, 3 Final Fours. She's always in the hunt, always makes the tournament, and always competitive. And I think the world over as a coach, and she might just have maybe the second best player in college basketball this year in Ashley Owusu. All right, and it's going to be great watching that team play. Of course, they play some teams that they'll just absolutely destroy. Hearing so many good things. A real quick look at the preseason selection for college basketball player of the year. We all know who he is. Drew Timmy from Gonzaga, 6'10" junior. He's the most recognizable returning player in college basketball. Uh, he's only a junior, and last year's team went 31-1. Uh, they finished number one with the most efficient team, but they lost to Baylor when it counted. But once again, Gonzaga is favored to win it all. Johnny Juzang from UCLA, we know that name. Johnny was unbelievable, came out of nowhere, and he was the best player in the NCAA tournament, save Baylor's Davion Mitchell. But Juzang, he just absolutely rang the bell for UCLA, got him going. Uh, Another guy to look out for player of the year, Kofi Coburn from Illinois, 7-foot junior. We all know him, dominates the paint. Jalen Smith had his way with him a little bit, but that was that. By the way, Jalen Smith has not played yet, and that really bothers me for Phoenix. He has not played. I mean, they're paying him a lot of money, and he just doesn't play. And Phoenix is okay, but I don't get it. Paulo Banchero, naturally, Duke has the freshman that makes it. Maybe the only freshman who makes the top 5. I don't know anything about it, but Banchero is how it's presented. One of the best all-around players and NBA prospects, believe it or not. He's the ACC preseason player and freshman of the year. He could do it all. 6'10" freshman. And finally, Colin Gillespie from Villanova, back for his 5th year. This is your typical Villanova guy who sticks around longer than most and winds up with a good career in the NBA. And he is one of the top 5. Real quick, the second 5, led by Hunter Dickinson from Michigan. The Maryland fans don't get a crack at him this year. I'm not happy about it. Another Ohio State player, another Big Ten player from Ohio State, EJ Liddell, a front court player. Uh, he'll have some wars with Fats Russell that I'm looking forward to. Max Amos from Oral Roberts, a junior, a guard. Another Big Ten player, Trace Jackson Davis from Indiana, 6'9" sophomore. As Mike Woodson comes and takes over, and he is one of the best inside players in the country. And Buddy Boeheim from Syracuse. We all know who his dad is, but he's a great player in his own right. So that's going to wrap it up for today. What a weekend. Maryland got creamed by Minnesota. The Ravens had the worst loss under Lamar, 41-17 against Cincinnati. Looks like Cincinnati is for real. They really are celebrating, but at least they had enough brains. At least their coach, Zach Taylor, had enough brains to not have them stomp on the logo. All right. And I'm telling you, he had them calm down. Sure, they celebrated, but he did not want to infuriate the Ravens because he knows he's got to see him again. So hats off to him for that. Of course, I haven't heard all the stuff that happened in that game yet, but we certainly will. And that's going to do it for today. This is Bruce Posner. I thank everybody for listening. We'll be back, as always, next Monday with Science at Kirk presents In the Nest here on WNST Radio, Baltimore Positive. Have a great week, everybody. Don't let that Ravens loss ruin your week. They're 5-2. If at that rate, if they continue, they'll be 11-5 or 11-6, and everything will be just fine. So have a great week, and we'll see you next Monday.